I'm sending out a warning to all Geno Smith doubters. The Raiders quarterback is going to be elite this season. Here's your opportunity to hop on the hype train. And coming up here on today's Raiders Report video, I'm going to tell you why this guy over here is going to be elite. Now, we here at the Raiders Report are the #1 most watched Raiders show in the entire world for the last 7 years. And I want you to hit that subscribe button to join this Raiders family. But I also want you to do it because I want the nation to believe in Geno. Because for the first time in a long time, we got a Raiders quarterback that gives us a shot to win every single game. Let's go over here, though, the first reason of why I believe Geno Smith is going to be elite this upcoming season. The Raiders believe in him. I don't care what anybody says out there. As a man, if you don't have an organization, if you don't have a significant other, if you don't have a best friend, if you don't have people that believe in you, that is a gut punch to your confidence. It is a gut punch to every man that is out there. And you know who believes in Geno Smith? Pete flippin' Carroll. This is what Carroll had to say on his quarterback. I really feel so fortunate that we're able to get that trade done. John Spytek got it done for us because of all that he brings. To me, he's been emblematic of what a leader should be by his habits and by the way he brings himself every day. He's the first guy out here. He's the last guy to leave. It's really important to him that he stands for what leadership is about. And he's a good football player, too. He's looked great in practice so far. So we're really excited about what he's bringing. And we have so much background. It's not just the couple of seasons that he played. It's all of the years that he has there. Because to me, coaching the next quarterback up is really, really crucial. So we spent a lot of time communicating, setting our priorities straight, staying on course, and he's just been a champion at that. And now he comes out the other end of that time frame, and he's an elite quarterback in this league. So what he brings to us is great confidence. He brings to me, I know we're going to get great play out of his spot. So it's really easy to work with that. Pete Carroll used the word elite. I think Pete Carroll knows a thing or two about what it takes to win in the National Football League, considering the fact that he's only one out of the 3 people on the planet or that have ever existed that have won a Super Bowl and have won a national championship. Pete Carroll believes Geno Smith is elite. And after you get done watching this video too, I promise you, you're going to think Geno Smith is elite too, unless you're a doubter. Let's go to the next reason here of why I believe Geno is going to be elite this season. Great quarterback minds with the Las Vegas Raiders. This isn't just a Geno is going to be elite because of Geno. Geno's going to need help. We know that it's not just the quarterback position. It is going to be an entire effort from front office, coaching staff, players on the field, and Geno flippin' Smith. Let's first talk about the fact that he gets to learn from Tom Brady. Learning from Tom Brady is going to make you better. When you really sit down and watch the tape on the type of quarterback that Smith is, who predicates himself on great pocket awareness, great ability to throw the football down the field, just having a total control of what is around him. He gets to learn from Tom Brady, who's had success with 2 different organizations. Brady also brings that winning culture and that mentality that this Raiders organization needs. Let's go to John Spytek, the Raiders GM. He has been phenomenal with journeyman quarterbacks, been great with bridge quarterbacks. Look at what he did for Baker Mayfield and that Bucs offense. He was also the one who got Tom Brady down to Tampa Bay, and that was an organization that won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady. Let's go to Pete Carroll, the Raiders head coach. Carroll is, again, one of 3 coaches to win a Natty and a Super Bowl. He helped Russell Wilson, a 3rd-round pick, really get his career off the ground and get it going, where he won a Super Bowl with. Geno also was recreated under Carroll, so when the fact that the Raiders went out and got him, you go, all right, this is somebody who's had success with him in the past, check, and we know how important relationships are. Let's talk about the Raiders OC, Chip Kelly. He can help the next quarterback, and I knew that Chip Kelly was going to get an opportunity. He just won a national championship with Will Howard. No disrespect to Will Howard. I didn't really think Will Howard is all that good of a quarterback. He's got head coaching experience. He's got OC experience. He's worked with multiple different quarterbacks with multiple different skill sets and has been able to get the best out of them. You can say what you want about Kelly being a head coach, but in terms of X's and O's, his X's and O's combined with Pete Carroll's ability to communicate with people is a great, great duo. But then also, I do think a little bit of a cherry on top is Greg Olsen, who is regarded as one of the best quarterback coaches in the NFL. And I say that because I am somebody that believes when great coaches employ you, that means that they think that you're very good. This is somebody who was employed by John Gruden. I don't think Gruden is a good draft evaluator, but you got to give Gruden credit. He's always been pretty solid with his quarterback evaluations. What about Pete Carroll? Oh, he hired him multiple times. Sean McVay, very well-respected mind, hired Greg Olson. He's worked with Derek Carr. He's worked with Matt Stafford. He also worked with Geno Smith recently. More of those connections overall. Now, I know I'm going to prove a lot of stats on today's show, and if you're a stat junkie, this might be the best video that I've ever put out in the 7 years doing this show. But I got to know from the nation because I want y'all to plant your flag. I mean it. Plant your flag right now and predict it for me. This will be the pinned comment on today's show. How many passing touchdowns will Geno Smith throw in the year 2025? My answer is going to be coming up right after this YouTube ad break. I'm going to sit up here and go that Geno Smith is going to have 28 touchdowns this upcoming season. I'm hoping that it's going to be somewhere around 28 touchdowns, got to have less than 10 interceptions. But if things are able to come into fruition the way that I'm hoping, I don't think that there's any reason why Smith can't throw for 30 touchdowns this upcoming season. Let's go to the next reason here of why I believe Geno is going to be elite. Geno's accuracy is elite. He's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the National Football League. And when you sit back and you really take a deep dive and you digest a lot of these next-gen stats, a lot of these advanced analytics, you'll see it. So over the past 4 seasons, according to Warren Sharp, Geno Smith has been the #1 most accurate quarterback in the National Football League. Smith was 5th in the NFL last year with a 70.4 completion percentage. Also, in the year 2024, he ranked 3rd in on-target throws that were 10 yards down the field. So essentially, right around that first-yard marker. But here's the other thing. It's not just the Geno Smith thing. You have to look at the offense that the Raiders are building around him, which is why I'm so proud of this organization for acting smart and executing their plan. So first off, you got Jacoby Myers, who was the only NFL player last season with over 100 targets with 0 drops. So you have a very accurate quarterback with a guy that never drops the football. Love that. Jack Bech, the Raiders' second-round pick this year out of TCU, had only 1 drop in 2024 and had only 4 drops his entire career. Another person when the ball's on target, check it off the list. Brock Bowers had a 3.9% drop rate. He dropped 6 balls last season. However, though, the targets that Bowers received, 29th out of 36 in terms of on-target throws. Yes, Bowers dropped some footballs, but I'll also make the argument if he would have had better throws and more on-target throws, because he's catching balls from Gardner Minshew and flipping Aiden O'Connell, that he would have had an even better rookie season. Imagine if Brock Bowers is better in year 2. God, I hope that he is. Let's keep it moving here on the show of why I think Geno could be elite. It's that explosive play ability. Smith can chuck the rock and he can spray it around the field at anywhere that he possibly wants, which is very important for this Raiders offense. So last season, Smith was 3rd in on-target throws of 20 yards down the field. So 20 yards or more in the air, 3rd best in terms of where that football is supposed to be. 4th highest completion percentage on throws more than 20 yards in 2024. And he also ranked 8th in terms of success rate on explosive throws, which again, explosive throws in the NFL are 20 yards down the field, 8th in the NFL in the year 2024. But let's also just sit up here and talk about the explosive throws. The Raiders have 3 wide receivers who run a 4.4 or better. You got Trey Tucker, you got Dante Thornton Jr., and you have Tommy Millott. When you add those 3 receivers on top of the guys that I just mentioned in terms of Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers, and Jack Bech, who those guys are going to be great for accuracy. They're also going to be good for explosive plays as well. But when you have the accurate guys, and then on top of that with the explosive guys, Chip Kelly's offense is predicated on explosive plays down the field. It's also predicated on efficiency. So you have your field stretchers and your explosive play guys. You have your efficient pass catchers and Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers, and Jack Bech. And the fact that in 2022, I know I went back a few years, but that was the very first year that Geno Smith was with Pete Carroll. He was #1 in the NFL in NFL deep passing touchdowns. So touchdowns over 20 yards, 14 in the National Football League. I get that the receiving core is a little bit different, but Geno showed that he could do it in year one with Pete. Why can't he do it in year one with Pete with the Las Vegas Raiders? We got more reasons coming up here in just a moment that Geno Smith is going to be elite. But first, if you don't know where you can get a Geno Smith jersey, you can go to chatsports.com/Raiders jerseys. And you know what? We got a lot more than just Geno Smith. We got some Bo Jacksons. We got some Ashton Genties, Max Crosby, Jackson Powers Johnson, hundreds, and I mean hundreds of different types of jerseys. Women, toddlers, youth, camouflage, chatsports.com/Raiders jerseys. If you're prepping to have a brand new jersey for this upcoming season, because we got a lot of jerseys you could potentially get, this is an opportunity to get them, because the more and more I start talking about jerseys and the more and more I do this the whole offseason, I'm just telling you, because I've done it for so long, jerseys will sell out. And it happens every year. Then when it's right around August and you're getting ready to go to a preseason game, or if you're getting ready to go to a regular season game, the jersey's got to get back in stock. If you're a Raiders fan and you already know ahead of time that, you know what, I need a new jersey, I'm going to be going to a game this upcoming season, get it now while sizes and while supplies last. Chatsports.com/Raiders jerseys. Those links are going to be available to y'all down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. And I mean, rocking a Smith number 7, I think that looks pretty flippin' sick to me, man. Number 7 also was my cousin Andrew's football number. So 7, QB, has a special place in my heart. Let's go to the next reason here of why I think Geno's going to be elite. The offensive line, it's a major upgrade. And there's still a little bit of concerns, don't get me wrong, with the Raiders' O-line, but I believe that the Raiders have an average offensive line that has a chance to be a top 12 unit because of the depth that they have overall. But last season, Geno faced a 38.5% pressure rate in 2024. That was 31st in the National Football League in terms of all starters that played, and I don't remember the exact amount of snaps that you needed to play. He also had to get the ball out quick, 2.28 seconds. That was the 11th quickest. So essentially, terrible offensive line led to him getting rid of the ball very quickly. But if you remember, he was still able to throw the football effectively down the field. One of my favorite stats this offseason is Mahomes faced a 38.1% pressure rate in the Super Bowl versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Do you remember what Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and that Chiefs offense looked like? I don't want to talk about box score stats, because Mahomes threw for 3 touchdowns, 257 yards. That's a lot of garbage time. I'm talking about what the Philadelphia Eagles did to Mahomes and that interior pressure rate. Think about what it made him look like. Geno essentially faced that for the entire flippin' season. I also wanted to be able to take this bit of a deep dive, and this is a really cool stat, and it's based on drop back stats. So essentially, when the pocket is good, and this is also not considering garbage time, because I don't want to look at garbage time stats. So when you got a clean pocket, not in garbage time. Also, this is not considering play action. That is very important. Geno was first in explosive play rate, third in on target rate, fifth in completion percentage over expectation. You can look up the exact terminology on that. Eighth in success rate, and 13th in EPA per dropback. Expected play, I think is what it is. It's something like expected play. Bottom line, though, all these numbers here are proving that Geno Smith, I think every number that I'm going to show you is at worst 13th. So if he's at worst 13th, to me, that is what an elite quarterback looks like in the National Football League. But you know what? I wanted to be able to give the nation a bonus stat on Geno, because one of the big things that I really want to show people this offseason is you will become a smarter Raiders fan by subscribing to this show. And if you predicate yourself on being the Raider fan in your friend group, your family group that knows the most about the silver and black, this is going to be a show that I hope that you go and you tell people, and you're going to be spitting out these stats, and people are going to go, shit, those are really cool stats. Where'd you hear those from? You don't need to say it's from me. Just say that you knew them from the jump, and I promise you, people are going to be impressed by your knowledge from this show. So I always say, you will become a bigger and you will become a smarter Raiders fan by subscribing to the Raiders Report. So please hit that sub button. Make sure those notifications are turned on, because I'm somebody that I like to believe I bring commitment to excellence to Raider Nation. You've had a video on this YouTube channel every single day for the past 5, 6, 7 years. I'm losing count at this point. But also, nobody provides the level of content that we do here. And I know there's a lot of really good Raiders content creators out there. But quite frankly, I think that we are tier 1 here at Chat Sports and at the Raiders Report. So if you don't learn anything from watching this show, you can hit that unsubscribe button. It's absolutely free. But I think once you sub, you're not going to want to leave this family. Let's go to the final reason here of why I believe Geno could be elite this season. The Raiders games indoors. And Smith is going to get an opportunity this year, which he has never had in his Seahawks career. But in 2025, the Raiders play 12 games indoors or in a dome and 5 games outdoors. Geno Smith's career with the Seattle Seahawks can be broken down by 50 games. 36 starts, 25 of those were at home. He threw for 43 touchdowns, 31 interceptions, and had a quarterback rating of 89.7 in those outdoor games with Seattle. In the indoor games when he was the Seahawks quarterback, mind you, all on the road. So if you want to be somebody who, again, who just doesn't like Geno or hates the Raiders and is like, oh, well, the home games are basically road games because the Raiders fans don't go to Raiders games. I hear you. I'm trying to think of every, argument that somebody would throw at me. A reminder, all of his indoor games were on the road. 30 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and a quarterback rating of 110.8. He's going to get to play in 12 dome games. If in those 12 dome games, he puts up numbers like this, we're going to win a lot of freaking football games, which is exactly why I'm going to bring this up, because I can throw out touchdowns, I can throw out yards, I can talk about quarterback rating, I can talk about all these stats when it comes to a QB. But Mitch, quarterbacks are judged based off wins. You're right. I'm not going to disagree. If Geno Smith this season throws for 30 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and puts up all those stats that I just talked about, and the Raiders go out and win 6 games, I'm going to go, needs to be better. And I think a lot of people would. So to me, Geno can probably only be elite if the Raiders go out and win football games. Luckily for Raider Nation, Geno Smith has the 6th most quarterback wins over the past 3 seasons. Only Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and Patrick Mahomes have more wins than Geno Smith. Yes, Geno has been able to stay healthy, which is a big important part, but I also think that that's part of why I think he's elite. And I don't know, let's add even another cherry on top. Did you know that Geno Smith was 21-10 the past 3 years in Seattle when the Seahawks averaged 4.0 yards per carry? 21-10. Here's the thing, 4.0 yards per carry is not even that impressive. So you know who else I think is going to help out Geno Smith be better and help Geno Smith be elite? I'm going to go with Ashton Jeanty. I would be shocked if Jeanty averaged less than 4.0 yards per carry. And I think you would be shocked. I think Pete Carroll would be shocked. I think John Spytek would be shocked. Hell, people might lose their jobs if the number 6 overall pick, if some people who are already regarding Jeanty as a top 5 running back in the National Football League, with this offensive line, with our coaching staff, we're going to average more than 4.0 yards per game. So in conclusion, Geno Smith is a very underrated quarterback, and I believe he could be elite this season, not only because of him, but because of what the Raiders have built around him. And for the first time in a long time, I am fired up for what this quarterback's going to be able to bring to the Silver and Black organization. And if you made it this far in the video, you have to admit, Geno Smith has a shot to be elite this season.